This speech is to inform about the Titanic. The Titanic departed from Southampton, England, and was headed to New York City, New York, United States. The Titanic passengers were divided into three separate classes, determined not only by the price of their ticket, but by wealth and social class. First class were the wealthiest passengers on board, were prominent members of the upper class and included businessmen, politicians, high-ranking military personnel, industrialists, bankers, and professional athletes. Second-class passengers were middle-class travelers and included professors, authors, clergymen, and tourists. Two Roman Catholic priests on board was Father Thomas Biles and Father Joseph, held Mass every day for second and third passengers during the voyage. The LaRoche family, Joseph and pregnant wife Juliet, and daughters Simone and Louise were the only known passengers of black ancestry on board the ship. Third class or steerage passengers were primarily immigrants moving to the United States and Canada. The sinking of the RMS Titanic occurred on the night of April 14 through the morning of April 15, 1912, in the North Atlantic Ocean. Titanic had an estimated of 2,224 people on board when she struck an iceberg at around 11:40 on Sunday, April 14, 1912. The sinking lasted 2 hours and 40 minutes. On April 15th at 2:20, more than 1,500 people died. On that fateful night, Titanic received 6 warnings of sea ice, but she was traveling near her maximum speed when her crew sighted the iceberg. Unable to turn quickly enough, the ship suffered a glancing blow that buckled her starboard right side and opened 5 of her 16 compartments to the sea. Titanic had been designed to stay afloat with four of her forward compartments flooded, but not more, and the crew soon realized that the ship would sink. The majority of deaths were caused by hypothermia and the 28-degree Fahrenheit water. Of a total of 2,224 people, only 710 survived the sinking. One passenger, William F. Hoyt, died from exposure during the night in lifeboat number 14 after being pulled from the water. 5 others died aboard the Carpathia, leaving 704 total survivors. 1,589 passengers and crew died. Of the first class, 201 were saved and 123 died. Of the second class, 118 were saved and 167 died. Of the third class, 181 were saved and 527 died. Of the crew, 212 were saved and 679 died. The captain went down with the ship. Among the survivors were 2 dogs brought aboard in the hands of the first-class passengers. The entire ship's orchestra was also lost. Led by violinist Wallace Hartley, they played music on the boat deck of the Titanic that night to calm the passengers. Almost 2.5 hours after the Titanic sank, RMS Carpathia arrived first on the scene to find the area scattered with icebergs. They started to pick up Titanic's first lifeboat at 4:10. Over the next few hours, the remainder of survivors were rescued. Carpathia's arrived to New York City, New York, United States on April 18th. Mackie Bennett and additional ships were sent out to look for bodies, but only 328 bodies were found. 119 of these were badly damaged and thus were buried at sea. Even though Titanic was also named the unsinkable ship, it ironically sunk. It resulted in more than 1,500 casualties. Only 704 people survived. A majority of the survivors were first-class passengers, women, and children. Overall, the Titanic was one of the largest non-war disasters in history that we will never forget.